Today's day 271 of reading. Today reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Let's get started. How did I only get 2 views? How is that even humanely possible? Everyone be asleep already. Be trying to be quiet. Anyways, we're on page 354. Let's go. And then he heard it, speeding through the air behind him. He turned and saw his firebolt hurtling toward him around the edge of the woods, soaring into the enclosure and stopping dead in midair beside him, waiting for him to mount. The crowd was making even more noise. Bagman was shouting properly, but Harry's ears were not working properly anymore. Listening wasn't important. He swung his leg over the broom and kicked off from the ground. And a second later, something miraculous happened. As he soared upward, as if wind rushed through his hair, as the crowd's faces became mere flesh-colored pinpricks below, and the horntail shrank to the size of a dog, he realized he had left not only the ground behind, but also his fear. He was back where he belonged. This was just another Quidditch match. That was all. Just another Quidditch match. And that horntail was just another ugly opposing team. He looked down at the clutch of eggs and spotted the gold one, gleaming against the cement-colored fellows, residing safely between the dragon's front legs. Okay, Harry told himself. He dived. The horntail's head followed him. He knew what it was going to do and pulled out of the dive just in time. A jet of fire had been released exactly where he would have been if he had not swerved away. But Harry didn't care. That was no more than dodging a bludger. "Great Scott! He can fly!" yelled Bagman as a crowd shrieked and gasped. "Are you watching this, Mr. Crumb?" Harry soared higher in a circle, and Horntail was still following his progress, its head revolving on its long neck. If he kept this up, it would be nicely dizzy. But better not push it too long, or it would just be breathing fire again. Harry plummeted just as the horntail opened its mouth, but this time he was less lucky. He missed the flames, but the tail came whipping up to meet him instead, and he swerved to left. One of the long spikes grazed his shoulder, ripping his robes. He could feel it stinging. He could hear screaming and groans from the crowd, but the cut didn't seem to be deep. Now he zoomed around the back of the horntail, and a possibility occurred to him. The horntail didn't seem to want to take off. She was too protective of her eggs. Though she writhed and twisted, furling and unfurling her wings to keep those fearsome yellow eyes on Harry, she was afraid to move too far from them. But he had to persuade her to do it, or else he'd never get near them. The trick was to do it carefully, gradually. He began to fly, first this way, then the other, not near enough to make her breathe fire to stave him off, but still posing a sufficient threat to ensure she kept her eyes on him. Her head swayed this way and that, watching him out of those vertical pupils, her fangs bared. He flew higher. The horntail's head rose with him, her neck now stretched to its fullest extent, still swaying, like a snake before its charmer. Harry rose a few more feet, and she let out a roar of exasperation. He was like a fly to her, a fly she was longing to swat. Her tail thrashed again, but it was too high to reach now. She shot fire into the air, which he dodged. Her jaws opened wide. "Come on," Harry hissed, swerving tantalizingly above her. "Come on, come and get me. Up you get now." And then she reared, spreading her great black leathery wings at last, as wide as those of a small airplane, and Harry dived. Before the dragon knew what he had done, or where he had disappeared to, he was speeding toward the ground as fast as he could go, toward the eggs now unprotected by her clawed front legs. He had taken his hand off the fireball. He had seized the golden egg, and with a heavy spurt of speed, he was off. He was soaring out over the stands, the heavy eggs safely under his uninjured arm, and it was as though somebody had just turned the volume back up. For the first time, he became properly aware of the noise of the crowds, which was screaming and applauding as loudly as the Irish supporters at the World Cup. "Look at that!" Bagman was yelling. "Will you look at that? Our youngest champion is the quickest to get his egg. Well, this is going to shorten the odds on Mr. Potter." Harry saw the dragon keepers rushing forward to subdue the horntail, and over at the entrance to the enclosure, Professor McGonagall, Professor Moody, and Hagrid hurrying to meet him, all of them waving him toward them, their smiles evident even from this distance. He flew over the stands, the noise of the crowd pounding his eardrums, and came in smoothly to land, his heart lighter than it had been in weeks. He had got through the first task. He had survived. "That was excellent, Potter," cried Professor McGonagall as he got off the fireball, which from her was extravagant praise. He noticed that her hands shook as she pointed at his shoulder. "You'll need to see Madame Pomfrey before the judges give out your score. Over there. She's had to mop up Diggory already." "You did it, Harry," said Hagrid hoarsely. "You did it, and against the horntail and all. And yet no, Charlie said that was the worst." Thanks, Hagrid," said Harry loudly, so Hagrid wouldn't blunder on reveal that he had shown Harry the dragon beforehand. Professor Moody looked very pleased, too. His magical eye was dancing in its socket. "Nice and easy does the trick, Potter," he growled. "Right then, Potter, the first aid tent, please," said Professor McGonagall. Harry walked out of the enclosure, still panting, and saw Madame Pomfrey standing at the mouth of the second tent, looking worried. "Dragons," she said in a disgusted tone, pulling Harry inside. The tent was divided into cubicles. He could make out Cedric's shadow through the canvas, but Cedric didn't seem to be badly injured. He was sitting up, at least. Madame Pomfrey examined Harry's shoulder, talking furious all the while. "Last year Dementors, this year dragons. What are they going to bring into this school next? You're very lucky. This is quite shallow. It'll need cleaning before I heal it up, though." He cleaned the cut with a dab of some purple liquid that smoked and stung, but then poked his shoulder with her wand, and he felt it heal instantly. "Now just sit quietly for a minute. Sit, and then you can go and get your score." She bustled out of the tent and he heard her go next door and say, "How does it feel now, Diggory?" Harry didn't want to sit still. He was too full of adrenaline. He got to his feet, wanting to see what was going on outside, but before he had reached the mouth of the tent, two people had come darting inside. Hermione followed closely by Ron. "Harry, you were brilliant," Hermione said squeakily. There were fingernail marks on her face where she had been clutching it in fear. "You were amazing. You really were." But Harry was looking at Ron, who was very white and staring at Harry as though he were a ghost. "Harry," he said, very seriously, "whoever put your name in that goblet, I reckon they're trying to do you in." It was as though the last few weeks never happened, as though Harry were meeting Ron for the first time, right after he had been made champion. "Caught on, haven't you?" said Harry coldly. "Took you long enough." Hermione stood nervously between them, looking from one to the other. Ron opened his mouth uncertainly. Harry knew Ron was about to apologize and suddenly found he didn't need to hear it. "It's okay," he said, before Ron could get the words out. "Forget it." "No," said Ron. "I shouldn't know." "Forget it," Harry said. Ron grinned nervously at him, and Harry grinned back. Hermione burst into tears. "There's nothing to cry about," Harry told her, bewildered. "You two are so stupid," she shouted, stamping her foot on the... "Thank you, everyone. That's all for today. Bye. See you tomorrow." Tomorrow we're going to read page 359. Put the bookmark and peace out. Bye-bye.